video, we're going to demonstrate how to build a mechanical advantage system. So right now we're starting, like we just lowered rescuer down to the victim. They've made contact. We're in a position where we can use an inline haul field. So if you turn around there behind you, you'll see that there's some edge protection down on the ground. That's we're going to use that to simulate the edge of our haul field. So that right past that is a cliff for a LARO environment. And now we're going to transition by building a mechanical advantage system to help us get the rescuer and a walking patient, or multiple rescuers and a Stokes basket back up the hill. But we're going to be able to build our mechanical advantage inline. Right now we have our system. We're hooked up to an MPD. It's been tied off, locked off, and we're getting ready to transition. Anytime we're going to transition to a haul, we should already have our edge attendant in place, obviously, and our rescuers over the edge. We should have our safety, the person that safetied our system before we lowered everybody down. We're going to make contact with our edge and have our edge relay to the rescuer that, hey, we're getting ready to transition to a mechanical advantage, to a hauling system. Make sure that they're ready, and also inform them that at some point they may feel a little bit of slack in the line as we're making our transition. So our system is currently we're locked. There's no lock on. We're just wrapped through the horn and we're tied off overhand. So we're going to pretend that there's a little, the system is obviously tight. Okay, we're going to untie our overhand. And we're going to get this out of our way. Now, as we build this system, already on our collection plate, we usually have an additional carabiner, prusik, and a pulley. And we're going to go ahead and run those down along with our rope as far as we can down our inline haul field to the edge. Okay. Right here, we're going to go ahead and tie off our prusik. 1, 2, 3. Pull that tight. Grip. Okay, we're going to make sure we have it slid all the way down to the edge so we can utilize every inch that we have. We're hooking our carabiner. We're going to open up our pulley. We're going to place the rope to the pulley. And just like that, we've successfully built, we can hold a little tension on this guy so I can pull on it, our mechanical advantage system. Okay, we're going to take up the slack we have. Now we haven't released at the top, so we got to work our way back to the top. This is where we make sure to tell that rescuer they may feel a little bit of slack in that line. We're going to unwrap it around the horn. Okay? And now they're just held in place by the MPD. We're going to make our way back down to the edge. Okay, got our rope bag. We have our rope. So our whole team has rope to work with. Remember that typically we're going in a LARO environment, we just need enough mechanical advantage to get them up the hill. So how much mechanical advantage we need is dependent on how big our load is. In this case, if it's just a single rescuer and like a walking wounded victim, 3 to 1 is plenty of mechanical advantage to pull them up the hill. We'll go ahead and hold a little tension on that again. So we've got a 3 to 1, which means every 3 feet of rope that I pull on this side, our load is going to move 1 foot. Okay? We're going to raise them up all the way as high as we can. If we ever get to a point where we can't, it's really steep, we realize we need more MA, we don't have enough haulers, whatever that may be, we're going to have to augment this system. The quickest way to augment this system with our standard 3 pulleys that we have to work with in our rope rescue complement is to build a 5-to-1. In this case, if we were working where we've had to build a haul field that goes horizontal for whatever reason, working on the side of a roadway or the side of a cliff or on a trail, then we may have to get a little creative with how we build the system. But in this case, we're going to build it in line. Otherwise, we're going to need more equipment. So with the standard 3 pulleys, we can only do this in line. So in order to build to augment from where we're at, we have to transition from a 5-to-1, or from a 3-to-1 to a 5-to-1. Fastest way to transition to a 5-to-1 is one of two ways. If you're working in the truck company where you've got a double pulley or some of that fancy equipment, you can easily just put a double pulley down at the other end and it changes direction up here at the MPD. Otherwise, if you don't have a double pulley, you're going to have to put in a second prusik along with another pulley. So, 2 different places we can put this change of direction. Real quick, what I like and clean and easy is right here on the Beckett. Okay. We utilize the Beckett on the MPD. That's what that's designed to be used for. We close that pulley. That's just a change of direction. You're not gaining any kind of mechanical advantage because that pulley doesn't move. Now we're going to extend our rope all the way down. And we can do this one of 2 ways on this end. Okay? We need to add an additional pulley. Now, we can just put a pulley in line. Quickest and fastest way is to just add another pulley into this carabiner. We can double stack them. The key is we just need to make sure that both of our pulleys are still kind of sitting along the spine and loading along the spine. If we're worried about being able to achieve that, then we can just add an additional prusik. Okay. Well, here, let me demonstrate how to do 2 pulleys. One carabiner. This. Okay. Hook it. We're good to go. Essentially, it's the same exact thing as using a double pulley. Okay. Now I have 2 moving pulleys, which is going to take our mechanical advantage from a 3-to-1 to a 5-to-1. And I can continue all this up. If that doesn't work, we add one more prusik to our loaded line, and we can put an additional prusik and an additional carabiner in line. And now I'll demonstrate that. How's that? All right. So now I've gone ahead and I have added in an additional carabiner and an additional pulley. We try to keep the 2 prusiks close together, so when we reset, we can just grab them both in one hand and extend them down the line in one shot, or one in each hand. But we want to keep them close together so that way they're not staggered in different places. Realized I forgot to say this when we built the 3-to-1. Obviously, before we have to haul, every time we add something or we change the system, we have to have it re-safetied. So I forgot to mention that the first time. But because we added something, we changed it, it needs to be re-safetied. So the safety, whoever it was, comes in. Obviously, somebody that didn't build the system, didn't touch the system, they can come in and double check, make sure all my carabiners are locked that I've added into the system. The rest of the system we already know works. It's already been safety. It's good to go. They just at least need to double check this section that we just added. And then we can inform our rescuer that we're ready to haul again. So we've gone from a 3-to-1 to a 5-to-1. Now we can continue to haul them up the hill. Luke, if you can hold tension on that. Something to keep in mind when we start getting anything over a 3-to-1 is that we're going to start eating rope up pretty quick. And now that we're utilizing 5-to-1, I have to pull 5 feet of rope to lift our rescuer 1 foot. And because of that, it's going to cause more frequent resets. So we just want to make sure that we don't overshoot our mechanical advantage, that we're utilizing just enough that we can accomplish with our people on scene. We only have 2 people, we're in a high angle environment, or a very, very steep Laro environment. We've got a basket and multiple rescuers. We may have to go even more than a 5-to-1. But for most of our stuff, a 5-to-1 probably covers us. So now, Luke, hold a little tension there. More tension. Set. now we can continue to pull. We pull our system in a 5-to-1. It struggles because there's not enough weight. Try to pull this, but you'll see that neither of the prussiks should move. Both of the pulleys should come up evenly as we continue to pull on this. It's tough to do on flat ground without enough weight on the system to make it work. With that, a quick overview on how we add mechanical. We do a changeover to a hull, put in a 3-to-1 or a standard Z-rig. We realize that we don't have enough mechanical advantage. How can we quickly make it a 5-to-1 with the equipment that we have in a standard rope rescue complement L1 for Type 1 engine?